Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, and so are you.
Jason is my son, and today is his birthday. You can have dinner with us. My brother makes good head cheese. Candyman, I get cheese. Candyman, Candyman. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you will ever listen to. We are the creators of the Spooky Pit, the innovators of the Passion Bump, and we are taking you down the darkest rabbit holes of all things horror.
We review horror movies and fuck them with comedy. We're your final bros, Bryan Hopper LaGrassa and Shane Old Hyman Smith. We are joined by our Scream Queen, Jen, the producer.
Hey yo, I've started drinking because this is the third recording of the night.
It's been a long day.
What are we drinking? What are we drinking?
I put some Baileys and Kahlua in my hot chocolate, so I was drinking that.
That sounds fucking great.
It is. Hot chocolates turned out to be my comfort drink.
But does it sound as good as some Crystal Head vodka? Crystal Skull
vodka. Can we get
vodka.
that up to the camera real quick?
Of course we can.
We're not even sponsored by them.
Do you actually drink vodka?
We've both taken a shot from this Crystal Skull.
I almost died.
When?
I did it for New Year's.
And I did it the last time we recorded.
So the last recording?
Yeah, whatever. That was in December? No.
Oh, no. I thought you meant the one that we just recorded before this.
No. I mean, back in November when we recorded, yeah.
I guess I'm the only one who always drinks when we record.
Good for you. I can't
Actually,
drink that
if we
much.
had Truly.
Yeah, I could have a couple of Truly. I'm like the worst lightweight of all time.
You're a bad
time.
lightweight.
Yeah.
I can drink you under the table.
No, that wouldn't even be close. I'm done after two. I'm not kidding. History of never drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of drinking, we're discussing My Bloody Valentine today.
A movie that's full of drinking.
There is drinking in the movie.
It is.
Yeah, there's a lot of parties, right?
It's an 80s slasher, so
yes.
There has to be drinking. That's how people die.
Yes. This movie actually
Always.
came out the same year as Friday the 13th, right?
No, Friday the
81?
13th was 80.
Really? So this was
Madman.
the year after.
Mad
Nope.
Men 81. I think Burning was also 81.
Okay, so that was a good year for slashers. Also,
but-
we've done almost every slasher in 81 now.
We have, oh my God. So in this movie, they're prepping for like the Valentine's Day dance, which is on Saturday, February 14th. And the movie starts on Thursday, February 12th, which means that the day in between is Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
You know, they even reference it because
They
know,
do.
like they have the titles on the bottom of like the days that are coming up. So yeah, so it was like it was already doomed for failure. Not that I love slash. Shane loves slashers.
I do love
I think they're
slashers.
interesting. I don't want to emphasize the love because people are gonna be like, "Oh, you said you hated slashers 10 episodes ago." I don't hate slashers. I don't love slashers, but they're fucking entertaining.
I love slashers.
Yeah, you're on brand.
I kind of, is it corny if I say I kind of love all things horror?
nice, dude.
Thanks. All right. You know what? It's late at night. We're recording this one. So let's just fucking jump right into the Spooky Pit.
It's been 20 fucking years since the murders on Valentine's Day, but the townspeople of Valentine Bluffs start dropping as this legendary killer's threat is unheeded. My Bloody Valentine, the OG, was released in 1981, directed by George Mihalka. It's a horror mystery and starring your favorites, the heavy hitters, Paul Kellman as TJ, the very popular Lori Hallier as Sarah. You know him well. He's Ben Affleck's dad, Neil Affleck as Axel, Keith Knight as Hollis, Al Humphreys as Howard, Cynthia Dale as Patty, Don Franks as my boy Chief Newbie, Larry Reynolds, the boy, the kid, Lair Bear as Mayor Hanniger.
I'm going to just go back a second. Is that actually Ben Affleck's dad?
Yes.
Wait, really?
No.
Oh, shit. When you said that, I believed you.
No. No, dude.
I've been duped.
It's almost Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So
It
we decided to do
is.
our Valentine's episode the Monday before Valentine's Day
That's
instead of
okay.
the Monday after.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Happy Valentine's Day.
happy V Day.
And it's going to be a
V-Day.
special one for the Final Bros and the Scream Queen.
V for Vendetta. I'm kidding.
I love that movie.
So do I. One of my
It's a great
favorites.
movie.
Top 10.
Yeah, definitely could be for sure. I could see that. I have to rank my. I don't even know what my top 10 is anymore.
All I know is my favorite movie of all time is Seven, if I haven't said that before.
I don't know. I don't have a top 10. I just know what I hate.
I like that. You have a hatred list.
That's-
You never forget. You're never forgets.
Yeah. I'm looking at you, Blown.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Bachelor Party at the Bungalow of the Damned. Fucking. Oh, I remember all these bad horror movies, like these B-rated pieces of trash.
Haunted Boat,
What I forgot the name of the company that makes like Haunted Boat and Pirates on Ghost Island, and
Lightning Entertainment? No.
yeah, it might be.
Is that it?
It's not Phase 4.
No, it's not Phase 4. Oh, God, I can't
It
remember.
might be Lightning
It
Entertainment.
might be.
It's Acts of Death.
Yep. Haunted Boat,
Born of Earth.
Pirates of Ghost Island.
It's so bad. Dead. Is that Dead Water or no?
No, I
No,
don't think
that's
something-
that's in a different series. Ghost Underground, maybe.
But we're not here talking about these.
Yeah, boy, we are talking about My Bloody Valentine. This movie, I saw this one after I seen the remake, and the remake was fucking terrible, in my opinion. So I went into this actually with a bad taste in my mouth. I was trying not to think of like this is going to be a better movie just because it can't be worse than the original. So I went into it objectively, but it was a pleasant surprise. It's not a perfect movie, obviously, but it's got charisma. It's got character for an 81 slasher.
It does.
It's unique. I'd never seen the mines used before in
Yeah.
such a capacity. You know, I like horror movies that do like these themes, whether it's like, you know, on a plane or it's in a hospital.
In a train.
In a train, yeah.
And an
right.
automobile. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah, nice, dude.
Gotcha.
So this movie was so funny. It was pretty sure it was filmed up in Canada. They chose this mine because it was, I don't remember if it was abandoned. It wasn't fully in use when they chose it. So it really had that wreckage look. When the town found out that they were using the mine, they kind of cleaned it up, but that's not what they wanted the mine for. So they actually spent a good portion of their budget making the mine look shitty again for the film.
That's
Yeah, it was really
reinvesting
funny.
and trashing the mine.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I don't think that came off clear to that, but sure, why not?
So I want everybody listening to look deep within themselves and think, when was the last time you were in a mine?
Never.
Donkey Kong Country?
Okay.
I don't think I've been in a mine. I've been in caves. Did we go on a class trip to a mine? Yeah, we did.
We did.
We did.
We did. But you know who's in mines to open this movie?
Two
miners.
Two of them.
Yes.
Technically 4 because I count boobs as mines as well.
Well,
So
let's hold it off, because one of the miners, and now we're not talking about miners. We're talking about miners.
You're talking about like miners, like we're mining for Bitcoin.
Yes, I just want that out there. Like mining for Bitcoin, not a small child.
We're
So-
like coal miners,
Yes.
Coal miners.
So
which is what they pretty much are. They don't specify what the job of this particular mine is, but it's mainly assumed that they're coal miners. But I will say one more thing about the mines. The mines that they filmed in were as much as like 900 feet underground. So only certain lighting devices could be used in the mines because of the potential danger of methane explosions.
So this was actually filmed in a real mine.
Yeah, it was
Yes,
filmed in a real mine that used to be in use that is no longer in use, but they used a real mine that had real methane gases in it, which could have just killed everybody.
Damn.
I know. I was like, oh, really? The 80s, 70s, 80s. You guys are authentic. You're dangerous, but you're authentic.
very dangerous.
I live for danger. I don't know about you two.
So
The
do
80s
I.
and or not the 90s, the 70s and 80s need to like go to jail for a while and just like think about what they've done.
I don't think we could throw 2 decades in jail.
I love
But
the
I like
80s,
where your
though.
head's at.
I
Yeah.
love the 80s.
In retrospect, because we're not living it, it seems like really funny. Like we're like, that's just so fucked up, and like we have to laugh about it. But like living it is just like,
I don't. The thing is, like, you're right. Like, I didn't live in the time, so I can't say like, oh, it's probably this great old time because I didn't live there, so it could have sucked, and it probably did suck. But like culturally, some cool things. You know, you got Where's the Beef? You got My Bloody Valentine. You got George Costanza in The Burning.
Yeah, it's a great
Kevin
time.
Bacon. Kevin Bacon's ass.
Great,
into it.
great stuff. So one of the miners starts to take her clothes off. You just see her bra. She's got a heart tattoo on her boob. Like it starts to get very passion bumpy.
Boner check.
Yeah, no, we're good right now.
Okay.
I'm
But
not
this
good.
is a passion bump because she starts to stroke his long tube. And he really starts to touch her heart.
Dude, that's crazy. Shane just hit a joke. That's sick.
I know, isn't it?
But I think he's got more. I don't think he's done.
No, because what I actually mean is, the mask has a tube, so she's kind of touching it, and then he sticks an axe through her heart tattoo, and she dies.
Passion bump. Passion bump. Passion bump.
I need you to explain to me this whole scene and why it's in the movie, because I actually was confused.
The way I took it, I can't really say without spoiling the movie.
I'm confused.
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
No. All right. So Jen said, explain to me why this scene is in the movie. And I said, I can't without spoiling the movie.
I mean, it's just like a precursor of what's going to happen.
I mean, I guess, but I was confused as to if this was actually like...
Okay.
Yeah, like I was like, I mean, I get it, but also like I have no idea who this girl is. Is she the reason why they don't allow like girls in the mines, or I'm confused?
I wonder if this was even 20 years ago.
It wasn't. The way I took it is it's the first kill of present day because you see her heart in the movie.
Yeah, but what's a good point is they actually never reference her dead, do they?
Yeah.
They do. They do.
Oh, they do?
They do.
That's why I didn't want to spoil it, because the first package they get, the coroner says this is a woman's heart.
Yeah,
and
right.
that's
her.
It's her
That's
heart.
Right. That's right. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that.
So
That's
it's just
why-
like a worker in the town that happened to be a girl.
The
I mean,
killer
I
of
didn't get it,
I know how to
clearly.
say. All right, I know how to phrase this now without spoiling the movie. The killer of this movie took a girl down into the mines to show her the mines, because semi-spoiler, the guy is a miner. That's how he has
That's
the
fine.
access, and they were gonna fuck in the mines, and that was the first kill. That's the best way of without giving who the killer is.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I get that the first heart found was a young woman's. It's just what this young woman had anything to do with it, because she was wearing a miner's outfit as well. So I was like, oh, does she work down there?
I just took it
I
as
was
a kink.
confused.
I just
Sure.
thought they were role playing, like, let's both be minors.
I like to role play and I like to watch.
Yes, both
We
are
are-
true of Bryan.
We're very aware.
After this woman now has had the axe shoved through her heart. Also, I guess this is a good time to point out, this movie has been highly, highly edited down. There is actually an unrated version you can watch that has 10 extra minutes of gore and the kills on screen actually shown. Sadly, I had no access to watch that. I just had the version that's on Amazon Prime, which is the heavily edited an hour and a half version of the movie. Because this scene where the axe actually goes through her is much bloodier in that unedited version,
I
where
could
here
imagine.
there's barely any. So now we cut to, as Jen said earlier, Thursday the 12th.
And we're in the mine shaft.
Yes.
Because you have right here, you have Hollis, Axel, and Jesse. They're explaining to their boss it's all clear down the shaft. Hollis mentions they left Howard down there with a couple of apprentices. They'll find their way up. In the showers, Howard comes up with coal all over his face. He mentions he has a Valentine for Gretchen. She's not going to forget.
I wonder what that is.
Yeah. As the guys talk and wash themselves and they get a good wash in, it's mentioned that TJ has just come back and his old girlfriend Sarah is now dating Axel. So there's some context there. TJ mentions he doesn't really care about it, which is horseshit.
It's big horseshit.
Because he's obsessed with her, obviously. And there's a montage. First of all, this is kind of funny. This montage is weird, but there's a montage and they're trying to pants each other as they leave, and they get a couple of cars. This quirky rural music plays in the background. The camera zooms in. You see a sign. It says, "Welcome to Valentine Bluffs," which is the big downtown area. Little town with a big heart, small population. And then you see a sign as well for the big Valentine dance on Saturday, February 14th at the UCMB Hall, Union Hall.
Yes. And this is the first Valentine's Day dance in 20 years.
It's a big, big event. We actually had to canvas it and cover it for our blog, the final podcast blog.
We have one
What?
of those.
Yeah, we had to cover the event.
Isn't it just
Okay.
our Reddit?
We got in our DeLorean and we got in there.
Okay.
So go to our Reddit.
I think I hooked up with Gretchen that night, but we covered it.
Talk about it with me on our Instagram.
Which
I'm always open
one's-
to conversation.
Which one's Gretchen?
Gretchen is the one that
Gretchen's the
Howard.
blonde from Mean Girls. No, I'm joking. She's not the blonde one.
Howard is the one.
That's
the one that
Regina
Howard
George.
likes. That
Okay.
always rejects Howard.
Yes. Okay. All right. I know who we're talking about now.
So they're driving to the hall where they're setting up for the dance, and Gretchen, right out of the gate, is repulsed by Howard. you see Hollis and his girlfriend, and they're doing their thing, and then Alex and Sarah, as TJ just watches from the corner awkwardly as his girl is now with one of his friends, I guess.
Yeah.
They seem like they were friends, and like this girl is torn them
Apart.
because he came back now.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Oh my holy hell, Shane. Whoa. There's a lot of hot gas coming from you.
Yeah.
Hot gas.
I've noticed in all of our reviews, I just keep referencing other movies. I think I'm going to keep doing that going forward.
Whatever. I don't even fucking care about you.
Thanks.
I'm deceased.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'll do anything for Shane. Axel asked her if something is up. And she says, no, nothing is up, Axel. Nothing at all. Howard tells Gretchen he would look good inside her. And she tells him to zip it up and suck it up. I don't know why.
Yeah, what happened there? Are you okay? Did I break you?
No.
It's really hard to break, Brian. The
That's
hot boy cannot be broken.
No, maybe 3 beers, though.
Yeah. We'll
One
just
and a
drink
half.
you under the table and we're good to go.
I'd be way under the table. Outside, Mayor Hanniger compliments on Mabel. Mabel's an older woman, and the mayor's obviously an older man. He's complimenting her for decorating the town that is hosting its first Valentine's dance in 20 years, like Shane's mentioned. And Mabel's doing a hell of a job because this town is festive.
Yeah.
Festive.
They also don't want to mention that it's been 20 years since the last.
He's
dance.
downplaying it. And the mayor's making this a very choice thing. He wants to be out in the forefront of not making this public. Very similar to Mel in Sleepaway Camp. He puts a cigar in his mouth and he's like, low down on the publicity here.
Mel, what a freaking legend.
Yeah, any chance I can talk about Mel?
I actually,
Salt dog.
if we ever retroactive to go back to our episodes to put people in our Necronomicon, I want to put Mel in there for Sleepaway
He had
Camp.
the death with the arrows in the forest. I remember.
That's too bad.
As they approach the hall, the mayor and Mabel, they enter the door. Howard falls out and he's bleeding from his head. Oh, wait, no, he's not.
It was all a ruse.
Yep, it was just a joke. The mayor catches him and Howard starts to laugh. He's got paint all over his face. And the mayor walks in just as TJ is leaving because he's going to get a beer. And then he bumps into the chief. Listen, he's like, he's not happy to be working back in the mine. You could tell TJ is just not, he's not happy.
Well, backstory on TJ. He left this town to go, was it California?
He left the town and he left his girlfriend.
Yeah, he wanted to make something of himself, but he failed. He's a failure.
He's what I like to call a sack of shit.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He crawls on back to his hometown to work in the mines like he should have from the beginning.
Crawls right back to the womb, except Sarah is no longer available.
I mean, what the fuck did he expect? I mean, like they don't go into this, they just argue about it more throughout the whole thing. But it pretty much sounds like he just got so tired of the town. Like he's like, small town, I need to get out of this small town. And he literally left one night. Didn't tell anybody, didn't say goodbye to friends, to his girlfriend, to his family. He just literally picked up and left.
Everybody wants something they don't got, so they go to the big city.
They can still say goodbye.
They could definitely say goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good place to start when you leave
It's the only place to start, really, unless you leave, like him.
in the middle of the night.
And he's pretty much just like, well, that didn't work. So you're not my first, second, or eighth option, but I guess I'll come back.
Yep. So now we're going to get a little context here. The mayor's son is TJ. He even says it's not his fault that living on the West Coast didn't work out for him. He just doesn't care. But he's his son. He'll be working in the mine. And the mayor and the chief, now they leave. They have a 7 p.m. meeting in Centerville. Mabel goes with. Well, not with them, but she's going to the meeting as well. So she's leaving the building. As the mayor's leaving, Howard gives him a heart gift box that was left out for him.
Yes. And that's where he opens this box, and in it is a human heart, a real human heart.
Heart-shaped box, Nirvana.
Only I throw out the references here.
I'm feeling it, though, in this episode. I'm feeling it.
Okay.
Shane, share.
I guess.
Can you touch me, Shane?
No, I'm not touching you.
I
Why do
wanna-
you always ask that?
I wanna be
and I mean
touched.
off the podcast.
I want to be touched.
Brian, respect Shane. He's a dad.
That is true. I get that. He's a dad now. He's repping the new dad merch. There it is. Number
Once
one dad.
again, thank you, Tim. I will rock this basically every podcast episode now.
We love the shirt, Tim. Thank you. I need to be
brilliant.
included next time. No, I'm kidding.
Nah.
I just want to be in on a joke. I want to be a dad.
Being a dad you should be embracing this. This should be your moment.
Yeah, if I was actually a dad.
You have to stop disrespecting your daughter. She works really hard on Sauce McGavin's YouTube channel.
That's true.
Yeah, well, he makes her edit all the videos.
So you admit it.
No, I did not admit it. I did not. So back at the bar, we have Creepy Ralph from Friday the 13th.
Embodied in the barkeep.
Yeah.
Which is happy.
Yes. He says you have to take like Valentine's Day seriously. You can't he'll come back. Who will come back though?
That
person.
The crazy bartender Happy tells the story of 20 years ago. Everyone was going to the dance except 5 miners who stayed back into the mines. The problem was their, what do you call them? CEO? Supervisor. They didn't check the methane levels of gas. And because of this, there was a huge explosion, as Jen alluded to, as something that could happen earlier. These 5 miners were trapped in the mines and buried alive. The town then went down to find the miners, but only found 1 miner alive, a Harry Warden.
He was found by the barkeep himself,
Yes.
Happy.
It also took weeks.
Yes.
I don't remember specifically how many. I want to say between 4 and 6, but it also took weeks. That guy was eating his fellow miners by the time they found him.
That's what I want to bring up. When they find Harry Warden, he's eating a foot.
Yeah, they show a flashback. He's literally, it's a foot, I thought it was an arm.
Is it an arm?
It doesn't really matter.
It was a
body part.
limb.
A limb.
It was a limb. We eat limbs here.
Yes, we do.
We're cannibals.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink and eat limbs.
The Wednesday weenus. Eat the hell out of that fucking weenus.
Exactly.
Ew.
Exactly. We got to be specific. We can't just
We got to let people know what we are eating. And I'll tell you what, though.
and when. Our diet's very specific.
Time is
Bryan only eats on Wednesdays, and he only eats weenus.
That's true. It's just like that piece of flappus skin that's just so tender. It's so almost broiled.
When
Bryan,
he's
do you want
not
to chew on my weenus for the podcast?
I'll give it a good chewing.
Don't take him up on that, please. When he's not eating some sort of fast food, he is occasionally thinking of eating a limb.
Here's the thing. When we moved from my bedroom of 28 years to the new studio, my brother's nice house in the Hollywood Hills, there is fast food everywhere here. There's a McDonald's 2 minutes away. So I'm getting McDonald's at 1 a.m. almost every night. It's crazy.
Doesn't
Healthy.
help that you have one of the worst stomachs in the world either. So this food is literally killing you.
It is. That's the problem. My stomach is terrible. I'm not helping it.
Well, hopefully,
You're I want to speed up the process.
Yeah, just end it all.
well, hopefully you don't end up in a mental hospital, which is where Harry Warden ended up.
No, you don't want to go down that road, Shane.
And you know why he ended up in this mental hospital? Because once he got out of the mine, he brutally murdered his 2 supervisors.
Yeah. On Valentine's Day, he came back a year later, cut them out of his life. He didn't need those dudes anymore.
And since that day, they have never held another Valentine's Day dance.
Oh, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that you get a flashback of him killing them too, right?
Yes, exactly.
With the pickaxe, and you get the image of the bloody body. It's dead. Harry removing his heart from the body.
Yep.
And putting it in a heart-shaped gift box. And the gift boxes were found the night of the dance. There was a note inside. Never to hold a Valentine's dance ever again. Every February 14th, he comes to town and stalks the Hamburger mine for someone to kill.
Yes. Which is now why we cut back to the mayor and the sheriff, and one of them is on the phone calling the mental hospital, but no one is there to answer during this scene.
Yeah, the employees at this place should just be canned.
Yeah, they're actually terrible employees. They're at the coroner's office, and the coroner says this is a young woman's heart under the age of 30 years old.
Very specific.
Yes, he's a very good coroner. I think it's the coroner who says, looks like Harry Warden is back in town.
Oh, yeah. Thought he was locked up, for the past 20 years, but what's going on?
Looks like he finally got out.
The chief tells him they'll find out if he's there, in fact, in the morning.
So now we go to Mabel's laundromat.
Yeah, she has a laundromat. It's decorated for the season, but
which she's currently decorating. But we get a POV shot of the killer.
Yes, we do. He's staring through the windows of the laundromat. But once Mabel goes in the other room, he enters. He stares at the dance sign. He leaves the heart-shaped gift box on the table, and then he hides, which is something that you're good at.
I'm very good at hide and seek.
Shane is nimble, and he's very good at hiding. He's got very good stealth rolls.
I could tell you right now, if I was in that house last week with Henry, Connie, and Mark, they never would have found me in hide and seek.
Really? You
Yeah.
would have won that game?
Henry never would have been able to find me and then the next day throw me into the lake ice.
That was sick.
It really was. The old woman finds this gift box and she opens it and reads a poem. I don't know what the poem says because I didn't write it down.
Did I write down this freaking poem? That's the question.
She didn't finish it though, so
Isn't this the?
it was like roses are red, violets are
Yeah,
blue.
it is this
It's
one.
this
one, yeah.
Because the killer attacks her. He pickaxes her.
Yeah, he does. He pickaxes her, and I think you don't see him do it. I think it's more of like the old Friday the 13th method, where you just see the pickaxe come down.
This is another one where the MPAA heavily edited all this out.
Yep.
Which is a thing I'm glad they don't do really in movies anymore for the most part. Because if you're watching a slasher, you kind of want to see the slashings.
Yeah. And I think every man wants to do this. And I think I missed out on this experience as a man. And that's cooking under the hood of your car in a junkyard. They do that here.
They do.
The boys from the coal mine.
I'm going to be honest. When I first saw them, I thought they were heating up meth.
Really?
I just assumed that before I saw it was meat. It just seemed like, am I stereotyping miners if I assume they're doing meth on the side after?
Quite possibly.
They do meth all the time. No?
Jen disagrees.
That's fair. I don't know.
Don't assume everyone's doing meth. We have to assume coke.
Coke.
Okay, fair.
Be respectful.
That's
Coke,
fair.
I don't do it, but
You
it's
gotta
amazing.
they gotta get the good shit.
Yeah. Coke is great. It's a great
Assume
drug.
that they're good people getting the good shit. Be respectful.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe that's why I like the 80s so much, because I just want to take a Nicolas Cage wad from Mandy hand size and just smack it in my face. Just Coke.
You hit yourself pretty hard in the face just now
think
because I heard the pop in my
I
mic.
think I fucking broke my nose.
Should I call someone now or later?
He's not bleeding, so I think we'll make it through.
I'll call Damien.
Another guy's playing the harmonica, and then another guy steals his seat, like in the junkyard car, so he has to get out. But he does give him a stiff drink.
Are we talking about TJ and Axel in the car?
Yes, we are.
This is where they have some interesting conversations, because we already alluded to. TJ and Axel are in a love triangle with Sarah. So TJ tells them, we're going to have a problem, and asks how they're going to deal with this problem. And Axel's like, nothing to really deal with, bro. Sarah's going with me, and that's that. And he's like, I'm not backing down because nobody knew you were going away. That was on you.
Once again, it is obviously just TJ's fault.
And then they even bring up the idea that they want to fight for it. Like, let's just have it out, which honestly, I am a big fan of, personally.
Yeah, no, this is just like the episode of The Office where Andy and Dwight have to fight over Angela's love.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what this is.
So I'm more, I guess, primal in the sense of like, if the caveman wanted something, they would just tussle it out. I'm all for like, if you want to, like this whole like, YouTube boxing thing, I think it's like the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Well, I know you're really big into Jake Paul's boxing
I
career.
fucking love Jake Paul. So I was say like, if two celebrities are just,
You just love the drama and the tea. You just
Love it. Love
want
it.
someone who's let's be clear. You don't love him because he's a great person. You love him because he's ridiculous.
I did not say he's a great person.
I just wanted to specify that you don't actually like Jake Paul.
He's got interesting behavior.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got it. I am not attracted like attracted, but I definitely am entertained by his.
Brian has a
vlogging.
new cum tribute to do now.
I'd come to Jake. But yeah, so like how celebrities are now like, just like
Shane is just leaving.
I'm rolling away.
they're just
He's like, oh look, there's a window.
lining up. Let them box. Let them have it out. Winner take all. I'm all about it. And here they're doing that. TJ and Axel, they're talking about it, and I'm for it.
It's getting you off.
Yeah, as long as I'm not the one fighting. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. So the next day, the sheriff and the old man, aka the mayor, they get in touch with the asylum, and she says she has no Harry Warden here. And she's not really interested in looking through the more files, but they convince her finally. But she's like, it's going to take like, what, a few days, couple days?
It's gonna take a little while.
I'm assuming that the next time they hear from her and get the updated information, it's just off camera because I don't think we see it, right?
It is off camera.
It's completely
Okay.
off camera. And I think she also mentions, if he was committed over 20 years ago, then he's no longer there and assumes he was transferred, released, or dead.
Yeah.
Because by the end of the movie, when we get more information regarding him, that one of the plot holes that I was reading online was they give you updated information, but never show that he was updated. Like he just comes out and is like, oh, we got this updated information. But the last time we hear from someone who supposedly knows about this guy is that phone call.
True. They're just making you assume that she called back, even though her tone of voice makes it seem like she wasn't calling back.
Yeah, somehow.
So what's the next scene? Because I fucking forgot.
You sound like me.
The mayor,
You're rubbing off on me.
the mayor
know.
does propose canceling the dance. Like, that's on the table. The scene right now is going to cut to Patty walking with Sarah. Patty is Hollis's girlfriend.
Just want to throw it out there now. Hollis, probably my favorite character in this movie.
Is the
Right?
mustache?
He's
Yeah.
such a good character.
I just actually generally like his personality and him.
Yeah.
Like in the movie.
Yeah.
They talk about how Sarah's low-key in turmoil. She's trying to decide which guys she wants or if she doesn't want them at all, because that is an option that she just could choose neither guy. Like, at this point, she doesn't enjoy that they're fighting over her. She actually doesn't even want to go to the dance with either one of them. She'd rather just stay home by herself. But then Patty says that she has to come to the dance. She just has to see her dress.
That low cut.
Yeah,
That
the
low.
low cost. She may not even make it out of that night alive. And then she says the damning words, and we know what her future entails. She doesn't even have to have sex at this point. She's already just like hit the nail on the head.
That's it.
You're all doomed.
Put that out there in the ether. You're
As
It's over.
soon as you say, I won't even make it out alive, or don't expect to find me when you come back, then you're just like, well, you're dead.
so
Just
dead.
Take any of those phrases and just take them out of your vocabulary for the rest of your life.
Yeah. I would have liked to see, I know it's not in Sarah's character profile, but her to play both men. Like, let her have a little fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She kind of did, but she was kind of over it. Like, she doesn't enjoy the fighting. I think she could tell this, because you kind of see it when we get closer to the dance, that they don't really care about her per se. They kind of just want to use her to hurt the other person.
Yeah. I mean, I just want to see her, hop pole to pole. You know what I'm saying? I want some of that action. Jam a couple of logs up. You know what I'm saying? Masturbate in the Amazon, jerk them off. Shane, you good?
What is this,
They're
Greek
lit-
Inferno?
They're a little far from the Amazon.
Yeah.
I think you're reaching a little there.
Yeah. 'Cause they're in Canada.
Thank you. So we now cut to the laundromat because the sheriff is pulling up there and he's looking for old Mabel. He doesn't see her and she doesn't answer when he calls. So he's got a hunch that something is afoot here.
There's some weird decorations that are hung upside down.
Yes.
You can see when he's walking back and forth, like throughout the laundromat, you can see the in the dryer, all the blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I
It's
also
great.
love is he goes and opens one of them, and even though there's clearly a bloody one directly next to him, but then Mabel's melted corpse falls out of it.
That's a melted corpse, if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, like she's in the middle of what's it called when you're dead and your body starts twitching, like your muscles are just going through it.
Pilates.
The spin cycle.
Rigor mortis?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, her body's like low key. I took it as she was in rigor mortis because she like gasped when they let her out, and I was like, is she alive? An excuse for that would be her body's in rigor mortis.
So yeah, Mabel is, now they know she's dead, and now they have two bodies. So we cut right back to the miners in the mine, and once again, the two of them were arguing about Sarah.
Did you say mine or Mayans?
Miners in the mines.
The Mayans or the mines?
Miners in the mines. I actually don't know what
That is a good tongue twister.
Dude, it's I know it sounds crisp on your end, but from my end, it's so close.
It sounds like
I guess.
miners in the Mayans.
It does. Mines? I even when I'm saying it, mines.
Mines.
You don't see it?
Not really.
Okay. Let's just move on. Let's just forget I ever said anything. Just forget my existence. Axel's going to tell TJ to take care of the sump. But TJ said he's not doing it unless there's a pump down there. And Axel tells him he either does it or he's out of there for good. He's going to kick him out of the mine. But Howard volunteers to do it. And TJ's like telling the other guys, he's like, if Axel keeps it up, he's going to hit him. And Axel yells at him to get to work. TJ walks toward him. Axel mocks him. TJ grabs his jumpsuit. I think Hollis is there to like immediately break it up.
They actually start to scuffle a little bit before Hollis is there
You
to
know,
keep the peace.
They're doing it on purpose. They're just like spiting each other on purpose at this point.
It's interesting because TJ like originally said like he doesn't care. Clearly,
He cares.
he cares.
So we cut now to the mayor and the sheriff discussing what they should do about the whole Harry Warden sitch. And they say, we just got to hide it. Just hide it. No one
Great
needs to
idea.
know.
Yeah, you always bury it.
Like 2 deaths in a matter of 2 days. This ain't going to escalate.
You got dirt, bury it.
You just bury the hatchet.
But the sheriff finds a heart card in Mabel's chest wound.
Yeah, he pulls out the heart-shaped note and it reads, "It happened once, it happened twice. Cancel the dance, or it'll happen thrice."
And I love that this man is a poet.
But it
yeah.
only happened once.
What do you mean?
He said it's going to happen a third time. It only happened once.
No, I think he's referring to the kills because he's killed 2 people already.
The girl in the beginning.
Yeah, the girl in the beginning, Mabel, and now whoever he killed next would be thrice. That's what he's referring to.
I thought he was referring to the event. I was like, you've only killed someone once before. I'm confused.
No, I think in this case he's referring to like the actual individual kills he's doing.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
And the mayor's like, "We're done. We're canceling the dance."
And I actually love this.
yeah, it was unlike Mel in Sleepaway Camp. He's calling it.
That's why I love this because almost everything you watch, like even like Jaws, like the mayor's there, like, nah, the shark will go away. We have to keep it open for 4th of July. This is like the first, like one of the few mayors who's like, fuck it, cancel it.
Yeah, but then they're also not telling anyone, so no one believes them. Everyone's just like, oh, you're canceling it because you're a sour sport.
Yeah, I guess to favor him, like he is doing the good thing to cancel it. And in his mind, he doesn't want to cause a panic in the town. But if he does tell them, they probably do just all go home.
I will also tell you that in about maybe like how far in do you think we are to the film?
45 minutes.
Yeah.
About 35 minutes in, I figured everything out.
Yeah, you knew who the killer was.
Yeah, I knew exactly who it was.
Interesting.
And it's not because they talked about the past or whatever. Based on deductive reasoning and where everybody kind of is. They don't do a bad job with that. Like they do a good job mixing everything up. So to kind of be like, everyone's here, everyone's there, everyone's there. But I kind of like did the math in my head because they kind of the whole reason why this person's the killer is very thrown in there, kind of very random. But just based on like if you're paying attention to all the characters in the movie and like when people are killed and everything, you can kind of do deductive reasoning. That's literally how I figured it out.
So you're saying you had a hunch. Yeah.
I buried the hatchet.
All you need is a hunch.
It's true.
That's what we say on the final podcast. All you need is a hunch.
Who needs evidence or DNA when you got a good hunch?
Who needs anything? You need
I
a
mean,
hunch.
if you want to convict them.
No, need a hunch. That's why police work was so much better in the 70s and 80s than it is today.
It was easier to
No,
get.
it's not. What are you talking about?
Back then, all you need was your hunch and you could throw someone in jail. Now you
Yeah,
got to
but-
work for
Yeah,
evidence.
you know they call it. You know what they call a hunch now? Circumstantial evidence. Whatever happened to the good old fashioned hunch?
It's so easy to tunnel someone though and just get it over with.
Yeah, of course. But I mean,
I'm sure there were so many people who they were like, I don't like you. You did it. You know what that's called? That's called the Salem witch trials.
And you know what the Salem witch trials were built off of? Good hunches.
good.
So bad.
Yeah, that was
But
bad.
what-
That was.
That was a really bad one. This is why we need more than a hunch.
But the thing is like the hunch leads to good detective work. But what I'm saying is that
Says
now
the guy who shows up to a search party ready for a witch hunt.
yeah, I'm always looking for a mob to just burn someone down.
Oh,
Love your angry mobs.
Or a search party. I love search parties too. I love really grouping up in mass.
you just like groups.
I like groups.
Anytime like you show up to a search party, me and Shane are just like, all right, where the fuck is he?
Yeah.
I like Groupon too. They're cool. That's a cool
We have
group.
to make a plan to drag you out when you show up to those things with
Yeah.
like pitches and
They gotta pull me out my
works.
Transylvania when I'm in my Transylvania mode.
So you're showing up to a search party in your Transylvania mode, ready for a witch hunt. This is quite a painted picture.
Oh my God.
You've been me a little pitchfork here.
I just
the dude
need
from American
you
Gothic.
dressed up like a witch hunter on a t-shirt that says "Ready for the search party."
The search party. I love it. But I guess what my point really was is that now detectives, they're too bogged down with paperwork. It's all paperwork. You can overwrite that with just a hunch. You know, do you need a search warrant? No, you got a hunch.
You need a search warrant.
How about this? You got a hunch. For a
Nick
hunch.
Cage still needed a search warrant.
This review went way off the fucking rails. Talking about hunches and
Just jumping to Nick Cage.
So the sheriff tells the kids that the party's been canceled.
They're like, fuck you.
Yeah. So they're not having any of
he's
it.
blaming it on Mabel too.
Yeah.
And they're like, but she worked so hard on it. We got to carry out her legacy by having the dance. Now that's where they are.
Yeah.
At the mine, TJ is leaving, and Axel yells at him. They have something to settle. He's like, "You bet we do," and he just leaves. The scene now cuts to TJ
Kidnapping Sarah.
stuffing her in his car.
It's a kidnap. It's kind of a kidnapping.
This is a kidnapping.
It is,
No
right?
doubt about
Like,
it.
Prime example of when girls just say no to the simplest things and the guys are just like, that's a good joke.
Yeah.
really though.
You know, I wonder if this is like one of those things because remember we're saying like, does she play a little bit too? Yeah, because she's like, no, but she's like, is it like a firm no or is it like a no but woomy no? You know what I mean?
No, I think it was a firm no
Firm
because
no?
she was rolling her eyes and she was like, no, I really want to go back inside. And he's like, yeah, you do. And then he just drives her off. Like she's not aggressive. Like she's not like, she
No,
doesn't feel unsafe with him, but
She just doesn't
she's
wanna be
also
there.
just like, I have other plans. I literally don't want to turn around my whole day just because you want to take me to some fucking spot.
Yeah, she's super sweet. And when you say like kidnaps her, he stuffs her in the fucking
Yeah,
back
He
of the
really
car.
does.
He
Yeah.
just like pushes her and get in there. Like,
He literally just finds her and was like, oh, you're here. Fuck what you're doing. You come this way.
Good news is this ends with a passion bump
it does.
It does.
because they have a talk and they share a lovely kiss.
Yeah, he apologizes to her. It's all about him coming back because
Yeah.
she's kind of conflicted. You know, why would you leave? And he's like, just kind of like, give me another chance. He's like, he didn't realize what he had until he left and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of all written down. Like, how would he have done if he succeeded out there?
He wouldn't have fucking come back. He would have
Wouldn't have
just
come back.
left her there.
Yeah.
I don't hate his character, but I don't like him because it's like, oh, the plan I wanted didn't work out. You're kind of second best. So I
Correct.
guess I'll just try and woo you now. Just so irritating because she honestly doesn't seem satisfied with that. Like, even though he's like, oh, I want to woo you now. Because he's partly also doing it because he's know it's going to piss off his friend.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit to that, you know, that
100%.
pride there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they're just trying to like scorn each other. So they're like, oh, whoever comes out with the girl's the winner. And it's like she doesn't want either of them.
Yeah. Now I have a question though for the next scene. So they have this kiss, passion bump. She's walking home alone at night. Did he just like not drive her home?
That's
Yeah,
actually a really good fucking point. What the
I think
hell?
maybe she made him drop her off where she had previously been. Like maybe
Strange.
she was still going shopping or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, because doesn't he go to the bar and
Yeah.
Axel's like, where's Sarah?
Yeah. But before the bar part, like Sarah's walking alone and she actually runs into the sheriff.
I mean, I would want to walk alone too. I have to now. I just like, wow, I just kissed someone that I'm not dating that I used to date. And now we're in a love triangle and I don't know what to do. I actually don't want to see either of them. I need alone time.
And although you may think the sheriff's, you know, a little suspicious here, let me clear him of any suspicion because he's on the night watch.
hmm
He's protecting the town. He can't protect the town and also be the killer.
Exactly. And because this sheriff loves to watch. So he's doing his night patrol.
Almost as much as Bryan.
Yeah.
No one loves to watch more than
I
Bryan.
just love to watch. Mainly Shane, but I love to watch.
They're so weird. Now we are back at the bar, Bryan. You can explain this.
Yeah, we're back at the bar. The bartender gets TJ a drink.
TJ seems really like buddy. Like he's in a mood that's like, I just won.
The bartender is now going to tell a little bit. He's going to talk.
Yeah.
Mabel got killed, just like I said. Heart attack my ass. And at a nearby table, Howard proposes they have a party to replace the dance. No dance, let's throw a banger. And TJ's like, why not? Party at my father's mine. Methane gas mixes very well with my Cabernet. Let's fucking go.
Yep.
And Howard's like, in the mine where people get killed and eaten? He's saying that like as a joke because he
Yeah.
obviously doesn't know what's going on right now. Well, they don't because
They don't. Yeah,
they're
they don't.
hiding all of the dead bodies, of the knowledge of the dead bodies, like more of the dirt. Bartender yells at him for making fun of Harry. tells him, forget about having a party tomorrow night or you'll be sorry. So he's just kind of like the harbinger from Cabin in the Woods. He's the guy. He's your crazy Ralph, like Shane mentioned. He just, don't do this. Don't go here. This is a bad idea. He's basically spreading the doom.
Yep. So much so that he goes there to make a scary mine pop out guy, a scary miner. Like, how would you describe? Like, it's like a haunted house.
It's a booby trap.
Yes, a booby trap.
He
That's it.
Sets up a lighthearted booby trap. So when they get in, they'll get a quick little scare.
And he keeps like practicing it on himself.
Yeah. He's
until eventually it's a real person.
He's so into it.
Yeah.
This is like such a basic prank, but he's put so much hard work into it, the old pulley system, that you really wanted that to fall through for him, but it doesn't because he's fucking dead.
Yeah. Because the dummy is no longer a dummy. It is the killer and it kills him.
Yep. He's swinging his pickaxe and it looks like Happy no longer. He's getting dragged.
He's sad.
Yeah.
See what I did there? So his name was Happy.
Well, guess what? It's Saturday, Friday the 14th.
And we finally see that there is a second cop in this town.
Does that mean that Happy died on Friday the 13th?
Yeah.
Yeah. An homage to Crazy Ralph.
Yeah. That's true.
We are at the police station. Like I said, we finally see that there is actually a second cop in this town. And the second cop hands a heart-shaped box to the chief. But this is just a box of chocolates from Mabel. And that's sad.
It is sad. Some good old-fashioned chocolates.
Yep. And then we cut to all the boys and girls having a great time at the mine house party. And then there's a random guy. I don't remember if we had seen this guy before. He's in a nice, like, black coat. Like, who is this? Have we seen this man before?
Black coat guy.
Or black? He's the one who's he's gonna go into the back to get a hot dog.
Oh yeah, is that John you're talking about?
Yeah. Did we know him before this?
No.
Okay. So
I
yeah,
have no idea.
this guy John, he's gonna go get a hot dog, but he didn't know that they were actually playing bobbing for dogs. So the killer comes in and shoves his face into the dirty hot dog water, and that would have killed me because no one likes hot dog water. It's gross.
It is disgusting. Actually, I lied. That guy is not John.
You fucking lied to me.
Sorry, I don't know who that guy is. John's the other guy.
So who the fuck is this guy?
Fucking have no clue.
Hot Dog Jones?
I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, so Hot Dog Jones is actually the guy that gets his face shoved into the boiling hot dog water and murdered. Death by hot dog water.
Very on brand for me. I have no idea who's who.
Yeah, Jen, you are killing us because we are like now just becoming one as the podcast, and me and Bryan are forgetting everyone's name.
You're welcome.
The names are getting crazy.
See, this is why you guys have notes so you can write it down. And I choose not to.
To be fair, though, I actually just because I even in my notes literally put random guy in black gets killed in hot dog water.
I figured he was just someone in the town because I don't know if this was for TJ because that guy seemed very similar. He kind of dresses up like TJ dresses up more. Doesn't dress like the rest of the town. And this guy, like the guy even comes, he's like, what are you dressed up for? And he makes comments like he wants to get out of the town. I think we're supposed to just be envisioning a young TJ.
Okay, that makes sense.
You know what's interesting though?
There's no other reason though.
Back to our conversation about names. The problem is with a movie like this, slashers, a lot of the actors don't go anywhere. Like this is it for them. So like when you're like trying to compare this to their character picture on IMDb, they don't have pictures on IMDb.
Yeah.
So like you got to like actually figure this out by conversation, and it's not easy.
No, it is not, which is why I don't try.
There you go.
This is your sole jobs.
Yeah, we gotta do a better job. So we now cut back to the sheriff who goes outside of his office and he finds a bloody heart-shaped box being eaten by dogs. And he reads a note that says, "You didn't stop the party."
It was always burning since that night has been turning.
He picks up this blood box
Okay.
and he says, basically, he's like, "I did stop the party. What party?" So the sheriff is super confused about what this note even means.
Exactly, because now he's keen to a new party that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But at the party, Howard's doing coke. Axel is kissing Sarah's neck, even while she's telling him not to. He starts getting a little bit more physical with her, and she's resisting, and she's telling him to stop. And TJ tells him he better back off because things changed since he left. And Sarah's staying with him. And Sarah tells Axel she has her own mouth and she can speak for herself because she's her own woman and she doesn't need no man. Literally, she doesn't want any of them at this point. And she's not even like looking at them. She wants no part of this like
over it.
alpha male bullshit with them fighting each other and trying to like fucking woo her with their pride. TJ's like, she wants to come back with me. Axel's like, bullshit. And she's like, both back off. She walks away. And Axel's like, you just love it, don't you? And then TJ, who's rocking that great ascot at this point in the movie, gets in his face. And then Axel has enough and Floyd Mayweather's him in the face. But he doesn't knock him out. He just pushes him down to the table. It's a pool table. And Hollis once again breaks up the fight.
He's the peacekeeper.
Yeah, he does. He holds them both off. And
Axel leaves.
tells him to knock it off. And then Axel does leave, slamming the door.
And Sarah tells TJ to leave her alone. Like, she is done.
Yeah, because he's a weasel. Like, now that like Axel left, he's like, all right, now that I'm by myself, he's like, I got her. But she's like, dude, no, like, leave me alone.
And a guy is snorting beer.
Yeah, if you've never tried to snort beer, you may not want to, but I'll try it.
You'll
No, why
try
not?
anything once.
If you snort it, could you get more drunk, you think, or no?
No.
I think that's only through butt chugging.
But your asshole, right?
Yeah.
You have a nice asshole. I've watched.
No, I hope not.
You should look for cameras in your toilet.
Yeah, I'm kind of terrified right now.
The scene cuts to Axel drinking outside, and he starts crying and banging his head against the wall. In a part of the mine, John and his girl are hooking up.
Oh, so this is John.
This is big boy John.
Let's just call him Big Dick John.
She's like, you know what we need, big boy? He's like, I got one right here, and reaches for the condom in his pocket. And she's like, no, silly, a couple of beers.
So he leaves to go grab some beers.
Yeah.
While
She's like, I'll go with you. And he's like, no, don't go. And that was her death sentence.
He's like, no, you get mutilated. I'll get the beers.
Yeah, he's like, this is a slasher movie. One of us has to go. I'm getting the beers. And while he's getting these beers, is this where the girls find a heart in the hot dog water? But they don't realize what it is. They think it's a prop.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, they pull something out of the boiling pot. They're screaming, like, what is this? John laughs. He's like, must be Howard playing a prank. And he leaves with the beers.
And while he's in the fridge, there's the dead body directly in the fridge that he does not see.
Doesn't see it, yeah.
Yeah.
So now we cut back to a lone girl because I don't know her name.
Sylvia.
All right. And the killer is turning on all the water.
Yeah. He has a fetish for turning water on.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, the miner jumpsuits that were hoisted above her, because there's a bunch of miner jumpsuits on the top, they just fall down on her, come crashing down. She runs and she notices a dead body drop down right in front of her.
Which is the bartender, I believe.
Yeah. She screams, turns around, and Harry's standing right there, lifts her up by her head, starts walking towards a sharp pipe. And John walks in with the beers and hears the water running in the shower, gets excited. You know, you hear a little shower going. He thinks he's going somewhere.
Yeah.
He thinks thinks something's happening here.
But something did happen here because he sees Sylvia is now the spout for the water to come out.
Exactly.
And this is another thing, all cut by the MPAA. It was a
Yep.
lot more graphic in the original cut of the movie.
Not too much. Maybe like 9 minutes.
Yeah, it's still a good chunk. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I gotta find a copy of that. 'Cause
It's
I know
really
they did.
hard.
They did release it, so I just want to see it. I'm
There's
curious
a-
what it looks like.
I mean, there is, but I did read that there was one specific scene that was cut that they did not put back. And I'm not sure if it was that one.
They just like cut it and didn't even put it back in the
Yeah,
extended
like
footage version.
they didn't bother.
Gotcha.
So there's like one scene that they did cut that's not even the director's cut.
Interesting. So,
Scenes that are cut to the party.
yes, we are back at the party. And this is when they all decide what would make this party great. All the girls in their beautiful dresses and high heels to go into the mines.
Let's go into the coal mines where people get the black lung
Yeah, let's go into the coal mines with all the methane.
with all the methane, with all the Harry. They don't know that yet, but there's still the rumor.
Yeah. Well, TJ even tells Hollis, he's like, you know the rules. No woman in the mine.
Yeah. He's big on no women in the mines.
But
So wait, if no women's in the mines is like a theme that they're, or like a meme, or that theory that that girl in the beginning being a mine worker would not
yeah,
hold.
that's
Yeah.
why I think it was just, like I said, the killer brought her down. What do? They obviously have not played Donkey Kong Country yet because it hasn't come out, but they do go on the minecart ride like they're in Donkey Kong
I
Country.
always wanted to go on a mine cart, and there's a Mario Party minigame where you're like on like the hay cart and you have to like
pump them. Yeah.
pump it. I always wanted to do that, like in real life, like pump something up.
You got to pump it up.
Nice, dude.
So this party is now all about mines. literally Hollis, this is why I love him. He actually just turns into a tour guide.
He's a tour guide. Yeah, he's the mine tour guide.
It's like if you look on your left, you'll see these old people who used to work here but got black lung, as Bryan would put it.
Oh my God.
Here are the dead canaries from the 1800s. But while this is going on, another couple breaks off from Hollis's tour group.
That would be Mike and Harriet.
Yes, I didn't know they had names.
They're going to spend some time alone, and they're going to head into one of the rooms of the mine. Harriet is that virgin waitress in that bar.
Oh,
They make a mention to her earlier because one of the guys hits on her, and they mention Virgin Harriet.
okay.
That's rude.
Do you think I'm making this up?
No,
or
I
you
don't.
think-
I don't. I actually don't remember that
Oh.
scene.
It is rude.
There
She's
was
a
a whole
pretty
song about
girl.
I know, just because she doesn't want to screw any of them.
Yeah, seriously.
Speaking
I'm
of
with you.
screwing people, we'll get to that later.
Oh, that was cut out too.
Was it?
Yeah, cut out the initial death scene.
Well, let's get back to the party because at the party, the girls are going to find. Oh, I actually wrote his name down. Dave.
Yes, Dave is dead.
In the fridge. That's hot dog water man. His name
Oh,
is Dave.
Gotcha.
And John runs
Really
in.
lame name.
And John runs in and says Sylvia's dead. So now Dave and Sylvia are both known to be dead at this party.
Do you know, now that I know, that guy Dave is the guy that I think hit on Harriet at the bar. So he was around.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a
okay.
rando.
We're putting the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah, we are.
I think this is when Axel yells to get the fuck out.
Yeah, he's like, it's Harry Warden, everybody, get the fuck out. And everybody starts to panic. And TJ tells Axel that Sarah, Hollis, Patty, and Howard are now in the mine. So TJ and Axel book over to the mine.
Yes.
TJ tells Axel he'll take the abandoned section. Axel can take the level above, and they'll meet back at the elevator in the main shaft. And they take the lift down.
Yes. We cut back to the mines. Hollis scares the two girls. And then Hollis is in turn scared by Howard. Beard through the nose, man.
Yep. And being a great tour guide that he is, he has to explain to them, this mine was built in the early 1800s. Nobody's been down there since Harry Warden. Howard scares them hanging upside down, like you mentioned, but it suddenly dawns on Patty to ask, hey, where's Mike and Harriet? Where'd they go off to?
And we cut to them and they're just making out. That's it. Nothing to report.
They're getting hot and heavy. Would this
Yes.
be a passion bump?
I'm going to say yes, because I think Harry is watching it.
Yeah, he is.
Passion bump, 100%.
Yeah, we love a person who watches.
I mean, not all of us. So Howard then thinks he hears something, but Hollis says we have to find the couple. Like, we can't worry about that. I think he says it's probably rats.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's probably rats. What a cop out.
Yeah. The one guy finally goes to tell the sheriff that like Harry Warden is killing everyone, the one guy from the party. Then he rounds up the troops.
Yeah, rounding them all up. Hollis explains the walls are covered with lime powder to contain the explosions, and then they hear noises behind them.
Yeah.
And,
And he's smashing the
The
lights.
lights.
Yeah.
and they decide as a group not to look into it and to continue looking for Mike and Harriet.
Only smart thing anyone's ever done in a horror movie.
Yeah, because you definitely don't want to go back where the noise is.
No
Literally.
chance.
This like the smartest teenagers we've ever had in a movie. They're just like, what a strange noise. Let's go the other way.
So in the mine, TJ walks into the group, startling them. They're scared
Mhm.
because he comes out of nowhere. But he tells them Harry is at the mine killing, and Hollis tells them that he last saw Mike and Harriet in the engine room. TJ tells him to go check the main shaft. He'll take tunnel 6. Howard will stay with the girls and wait for Axel because he's scared, and so are they. So he has no idea how to manage the situation like whatsoever.
Yeah. So sadly, Hollis finds the couple that was making out and they've been screwed. And then Hollis actually gets nailed himself. I was sitting on those all day.
That was fucking
You've been waiting since 7 to make those jokes.
I
It is
have.
1 a.m.
This is like one of the few episodes where I actually just wrote jokes out in my notes.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
amazing.
You know what it is? I love when I can make a good dad. So moving on.
Number 1 dad for a reason.
I guess I was ready for it.
What Harry is shown, he's loading a nail gun, like you mentioned, right? And he gets nailed. Howard and the girls are waiting scared when Hollis walks up to them, bloody, and he falls to the ground, dead.
It is one of those movie tropes where like the guy easily could have either died at the scene or on the walk, but he doesn't die until the exact moment he gets back to the group.
He has to make it just back to the group, just to die in front of them.
Yeah, just to traumatize his girlfriend.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
she can rush to his bloody body and just cry And then they notice-
Forever.
yeah, it's true. They notice Harry's walking up towards them from the other end of the tunnel. I think it's Howard who tells them that they have to go and they start leaving.
Yeah.
But Patty's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to leave Hollis. Sarah tries to get her to leave and she grabs the light off of Hollis's body. Patty still refuses, but after a good slapping, she gives Sarah a hug and they're approached by Axel, who appears like Harry, startling them because he come in with a full garb.
Yes, he does.
Right? And it kind of looks like, it makes the viewer look like you think it's Harry.
Yeah. So this is when they all decide, the group. I think it's Axel, TJ, the two girls. Howard ran on his own at this point.
Yep.
They're going to go to the elevator shaft and get out. But by the time they get there, the controls have been smashed and they can't use the elevator. So they decide to climb the safety ladder from Metal Gear Solid because this is the longest ladder I've ever seen in my life.
This is a long ways away. It's a very high ladder. And Patty's having a hard time here.
The biggest mistake they had made in this movie was letting Patty climb in the middle.
So
just stick her at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, well, they knew she was going to try and like stay behind. So they were just like, we got to make sure she gets out.
At that point, I'm going up first.
Yeah.
I
I would
can't
have
wait
been
for
like,
you,
bye,
Patty.
Patty.
Yeah, you stay in the mine.
And then a body is dropped from the top of the ladder. So then they go back down.
It's Howard that was dropped.
Yeah. He went ahead. He was dropped. And TJ tells the group, they can beat Harry to the rail cars. And Axel tells them that he knows a shortcut and will lead them there. Walking through the murky water, TJ hears Axel moan. He calls for him and doesn't hear back. He heads back to see that part of the wooden deck rail was broken and Axel's light is in like this little body of water.
Yeah, and I think TJ even says like that thing could be like 60 feet deep. He's gone.
Mm-hmm. They're like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I'm going to do nothing. You want to jump in there?
There's bubbles. So like, that's the thing. Like there's someone probably in there. There's bubbles in there. So
Yeah, he ain't worried about it.
That scene, I don't know if anyone else is following and has guessed already. That specific scene, like, I already thought I knew who it was, and that like cemented it for me.
yeah,
Same.
that scene right there.
No, I completely agree. I didn't guess it as early as you did, Jen, but like a little bit earlier, and now like this scene cemented. Like, yeah, I know who the killer is.
I just figured that because it was an 80s movie, they'd be pretty basic about it. So with deductive reasoning, like with movies nowadays, they try not to be that easy. But back in the 80s, like you could do it.
Yeah.
What were we gonna say, Bryan?
No, I was gonna say I actually did not know who it was. I was
The whole time?
You know what the thing was? I was running between the idea that because it was an 80s movie, like maybe it's too simplistic that they just leave Harry as the killer.
Okay.
But
That's
I mean,
true.
like, but there's some like the ending is interesting.
Well, I mean, if you said you saw the remake, so that also could have thrown you off. Because the remake has a completely different killer than the original.
Mm-hmm. But no, I didn't figure it out. So
okay, I think this is now when TJ is like going down a different path from the girls, right? But it like collapses or like
because there's like a fork. He goes the other way and it collapses. So they head back the other way, and this is the girls, and they hear all the noises throughout the passage. And as they walk, Harry comes out and stabs Patty in the stomach with the pickaxe, killing her right in the gut shot.
leaving us with our final girl, Sarah.
Yeah, she runs back down the passage. They keep going up and down this same fork. The police arrive at the mine. Sarah, crying while standing in the mine, is startled by TJ by putting a hand on her shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He helps her down the passage. However, they spot Harry. The chief is joined by the townspeople now. They're gathering at the mine, and he tells them the elevator is broken. They're going in a different way. TJ and Sarah jump in a train car to elude Harry, but he uses his pickaxe kind of like to catch the back of the train car, and he jumps on. Are we call this a train car or like a mine car?
Let's call it a mine car because they're in a mine.
It's a mine car.
Okay, mine car. As they move back to the front of the train car, TJ blocks Harry. I'm just kidding.
This guy.
I'm an asshole, I know. As they move to the front of the mine car, TJ blocks Harry's attacks with a shovel, but he eventually loses it, and Sarah grabs it. TJ does like a sick TJ Watt tackle off of the mine car onto the floor. Sarah does jump down, though, to give him the shovel.
Can I just say this was one of the most anticlimactic scenes in the world?
You think so?
Just because the mine car was going so slow.
Yeah.
So watching the fighting, I was just like, wow.
Not impressed by the tackle.
No, I was not. I thought it was funny because I don't know when like it picks up, you expect it to be going like a little faster, make it a little more adrenaline. Instead, you just see people kind of slowly fighting on a slow moving mine car, and I was like, this is really anticlimactic.
She does give him the shovel, which he hits Harry in the head with. The chief and the townspeople now start heading down the passageway, and the chief notices the train car headed his way with blood on it. TJ and Sarah backstep into a room, blocking Harry's attacks with the shovel, because that's all they have to defend themselves with, and they start to swing at each other, wrecking the room that is full of rocks. Sarah then picks up a very large rock and hits Harry with it, but it literally does nothing to him. He eats this rock shot.
I mean, he's wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
He swings his pickaxe at TJ, but TJ dodges and the pickaxe gets stuck in the wall, and Harry tries to get it out. Unable to get it out, he takes out a knife, approaches TJ on the ground, but Sarah pulls off his gas mask and reveals that it's
Axel. He was the killer the whole time. It was never Harry.
a flashback ensues showing Axel under his bed watching Harry kill his father 20 years ago. So earlier in this movie, where you see the one kill of Harry in the flashback, taking the pickaxe and hitting it to the guy, it might even be the same guy he pulled the heart out of.
Yeah.
They didn't show this part in the flashback. Axel was watching that as a young boy
So
20 years ago under the bed.
Yes. So we learned that Axel's father was the supervisor from the mine that led to the Harry Warden mine incident.
So TJ then hits Axel, causing him to back up. I think a beam is broken, which causes the rock to fall on top of him. TJ runs out of the room and tells all the townspeople that Harry's in there. I think it's actually like a mine shaft is where they technically what that room is called.
Mhm.
TJ tells the chief that it's not Harry.
And the chief says he knows because Harry Warden died 5 years ago. As Jen said, this is just information he learned off screen.
That just felt super weird to me. That whole couldn't give him the information. It just felt like they had to tie loose ends in just to make that kind of coherent.
Yeah, I was hoping that like at the police station, like the guy was just like, "Oh, you have what's her face on the line for you." Like you saw him get a second call because you didn't have to listen to the call again. You just had to like see he got a call back. He got information. We don't have to know what it was right away, but it would be nice to see that.
Agreed.
So now the townspeople, they're digging out the rocks that were in the shaft and they find Axel's hand and he starts moving it.
When they get him out of the rock so he can move, he kind of scampers away behind the rocks and he says, "Sarah, be my bloody Valentine."
Yeah, he just like decides I'm going to be a mole person and live in the mines.
Yes. The good news for him was 20 something years later, they cast him as Smeagol in The Lord of the Rings. So that was
really?
No. I may actually just made that up. I meant because he was a mole person.
He didn't take the whole mole persona. He took more like the naked mole rap version to really like get into Smeagol.
Well, the screen's going to go black. He's going to laugh. The Hand of Your Mind song plays and the movie ends. Question for you though. Before he leaves, right? Before he leaves, he says something about like him and Harry. Is Harry alive?
No.
Harry's dead.
Because he does make a note about it though.
Yeah, but he
Him and
probably
Harry.
didn't know Harry was dead. Maybe he just means the spirit of Harry will live with him in the mines.
They did confirm that Harry was dead. The police officer did with the staff at the mental hospital. But yeah, I just thought it was weird that he said that because I'm like, what is he talking about?
I think he just means the spirit of Harry, kind of.
The spirit of the legend.
Exactly.
Maybe he's delusional. I don't know.
He definitely is. And that is my Bloody Valentine 1981.
I will say, you seen the remake?
No.
Any of you
Well,
guys know?
some of it. I only remember it. I saw it a long time ago.
It's a much worse movie.
Mm-hmm. I definitely have seen it. I just don't remember any of it.
Yeah, it's a much worse movie. Let's give our reviews. Shane, you want to kick it off?
I will kick it off. I liked it. I thought it was a good slasher. I wouldn't say it's like one of my favorites, but I enjoyed it. For me, I thought who the killer was became kind of obvious midway through. I definitely agree with Jen on that point. But a lot of times in these older slashers, the characters are kind of like very one-dimensional, and they kind of are in this movie. You don't really get much. Like you get so little that I couldn't even remember like who was who on the side characters. But overall, I thought it was good. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. So I'm with you in terms of like the characters. There's just a lot of characters and they don't really go into much detail about who they are, and maybe a little bit more information on them and building them out would probably have been a little bit better. But the main characters I did not hate. I mean, TJ's like okay, Axel's okay, Hollis is like I said, I like Hollis a lot. I think the girls are pretty good. I think that Patty and Sarah, Howard's not a bad character. Howard's the prankster.
Yeah.
He makes sense. You need a Howard in every movie.
Of course.
Gretchen, to me, like in the whole repulsing, like I feel like they misused her in a way, but I guess he's just more shame for Howard, right?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could think of with her character. Happy, great character. You need a harbinger for sure, or harbinger. But in terms of like the kills are basic. I was not floored by the kills. The lone pickaxe coming down and stabbing somebody, but it wasn't like anything groundbreaking there. But overall, I give it a 6 out of 10. I like the setting. I like the fact that it was unique with the mines because I haven't really seen that before. And I like how they used the whole mines thing and they brought it back at the end. So like the movie talks about the mines and then they end with the mines. That makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I go 6 out of 10 as well. Not the best, not the worst. Overall, like a decent slasher. I probably would watch it again.
I think we're all pretty much a 6 out of 10. I enjoyed it. If someone wanted to watch it with me, I would watch it again. You know, I kind of already expressed my complaints when I was questioning things throughout the episode and like my improvements. But, you know, they said they were going to give me an 80s slasher film. They delivered me an 80s slasher film and I did very much enjoy it. So 6 out of 10 would recommend. And I believe we are at the point in the podcast where maybe somewhat probably not think about reanimating a character that will go in our Necronomicon with the dying hope of coming back to life and then slowly realizing that they're just going to be stuck in the Jin's lamp forever.
I'll let one of you go first. I actually don't know who I want to nominate.
Yeah. So this is one of those movies where like one of the big two guys would have been probably the answer for me, but this is a movie where the killer lives on.
Yeah, and his main characters live on.
Which I don't
know
hate.
my guy's name, so
Which I don't hate. Sometimes I like it when it makes sense when the villain gets away.
Who's our favorite character?
Hollis.
Yeah.
His death was stupid.
Mustache.
His death was pretty stupid because like
I know, but
he got killed and then he like walked to where he would die.
Maybe Mabel,
the standout.
Okay.
I also like probably because you're a joke with the drilled couple.
I didn't suggest them because I actually already forgot their names.
Mike and
Miriam?
Mike and something.
Harriet
was with No, you're right. It was
then
Mike
I have
and
no
Harriet.
idea.
Mike and Harriet, the Virgin. Mike and Harriet. Yep.
I'm down for Mabel though.
Mabel would be my choice as well because she got fried.
She was also the head of the party planning committee.
Makes a lot of sense.
She's low-key the reason.
Yeah, they're there, the girl in the beginning, and the girl in the beginning wasn't crazy. Yeah, we'll go Mabel.
We're going Mabel.
Shane, have you prepared an impromptu eulogy?
Yes. Mabel, we are honoring you in our Necronomicon. You were the head of the party planning committee, and you were going to throw one hell of a rager of a Valentine's Day party. The biggest one in 20 years, some would say.
Yeah.
But sadly, your time ended in a dryer.
In your own laundromat.
Yeah, it's really...
Yeah, my bad.
It's kind of sucks when you really think about it.
Sucks.
And for that, we will put you in our Necronomicon.
Yes, we will. That's it. Fate is sealed. Even though your fate's already been sealed because you're dead.
Yeah, sorry. We can't do anything about that.
There's
We're
nothing
liars.
to do about that.
You just won't be reanimated. Well, you may be reanimated, actually.
I mean,
You
you
never
may
know.
be, but
We're capable of anything.
we are, but we're too lazy.
Yeah, that's true.
We just won't. It's a lot of work. We won't do it. It's a weekend.
Yeah.
I need sleep.
We're off.
Who has that, you know?
I'd rather just leave it up to the gin.
Yeah, see what he does.
I love that we've incorporated the gym into our Necronomicon.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it's kind of awesome.
I love the gin. Love it.
Big fan. You know what else I'm a big fan of, guys? Scott Huckey.
Yes. He's so hot. Scott's Life of Gaming. What a
It's good
guy.
fun.
And he's going to be on next week's episode.
You don't say.
Yeah, because you know what? We're like, hey, maybe we should do Hobo with a Shotgun. Who would be perfect for that? Oh, the king of the shunt, Scott Huckey.
I never, ever recommended this movie.
This movie is something else. If you don't know anything about it, it stars Rutger Hauer in an absolute slugfest of action comedy horror.
Yeah.
I would say it's something else, but you get exactly what you're advertised for. So just pretty straightforward.
Yeah. You like hobos? You like shotguns? It's your movie.
It is exactly what the title says it is. So I guess with all that said, we are the final podcast signing off, and we will see you next week in Scumtown. So So if you haven't already, please follow us on Facebook and Twitter at The Final Pod Ever. Follow us on Instagram at The Final Podcast. And if you haven't, please give us a 5-star rating on Apple. It really, really helps Apple, push out our content and recommend us to other people to listen to. Get my shotgun.
$49.99.